Hello and welcome to the United Stand. A little bit of a technical error there, but don't worry about it. We are live. The most important thing out of all of this is that Louis Van Gaal has been sacked. Hallelujah. If you've been waiting for us all day for this to happen, it has actually happened. He has been sacked. I must get the comment section up there. I'm also going to get the official line from the website, which I'll read out to you now. Louis Van Gaal leaves Manchester United. Executive Vice Chairman Ed Woodward said, "I would like to thank Louis and his staff for their excellent work in the past 2 years, culminating in a winning record in a record equaling 12th FA Cup for the club and securing him a title in 4 different countries. He has behaved with great professionalism and dignity throughout his time here. He leaves us with a legacy of having given several young players the confidence to show their ability on the highest stage. Everyone at the club wishes him all the best in the future." He's gone, Alex. I mean, that's the main thing.
Yeah, he is gone, and I'm really happy he's gone for obviously everything that's happened. But his statement did kind of make me feel a little bit bad, where he's even like thanking the laundry room. But like you said previously, whenever you're feeling bad, you have to think back to all the mistakes he's made and everything that has happened throughout the thing. And I think he was obviously in the past a good manager, but I think he's so set still in like his 90s way of thinking, and his stubbornness and like unwillingness to change is what cost him in the end.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's been such an odd day waiting for this to happen, as many of you will know. We have been waiting for it to happen for a long time. But it has happened. It's the right decision. I want to get the live comment section involved as well. But I tell you what, as well, I don't think Alex has been this anxious since he saw Ryan Giggs' phone number in his girlfriend's phone, and I've been sweating like John Terry in a spelling test, but it's done. It's absolutely done. I don't personally feel any sympathy for him at all. A lot of people are saying respect and thanks to Louis. What frustrates me is the fact that we've known he's been going for so long, and then we've had to wait so long for it to happen because we're such a corporate entity, and it's about all about the timing. I don't know. I think maybe I'm just frustrated, but I'm absolutely ecstatic now. I mean, we're on the hand. There's a hat trick going to happen this week. We've scored one. That's Van Gaal gone. Hopefully tomorrow or the day after. I think tomorrow Mourinho, and then I think by Saturday we get Zlatan as well, which is the ultimate hat trick for me. I'm absolutely ecstatic about that. Van Gaal. I think his legacy will be quickly forgotten. I don't think he's anybody we're going to look back on with any great appetite or satisfaction. Most backwards passers. He's second consecutive season we've had a negative goal difference away. We all know the problems, and biggest problems of all for me is the fact that when you really think about it, and when you really start to drill down, and I was reading stuff today that you've all been putting up, and thanks to everybody who's been involved, we've all got our own endearing memories. I think for me, there's that one of Phil Jones with his hands up about to take a corner. But we've all got personal favourites, and I'll give Alex a little chance to think what his might be. But there are just so many bad mistakes he made, and I think the one thing that stood out to me today that really made me smile was the fact that of all the things that leaked last night from the press in The Guardian and The Independent about how unhappy the players are, that sort of made me feel even more justified and relieved, because he's clearly ran with a total iron fist and not understood what the United way was. And interestingly, De Gea is obviously not happy under Van Gaal, and he was 100% going to go, and now he's 100% going to say because we're going to get Mourinho, Alex.
Yeah, I think that's the big one. I always said if Jose comes, then De Gea will 100% stay. In terms of my favourite memory under him, or it wouldn't be favourite, but you know what I mean, is that I can't remember what game it was, but it was the second half of some game that he played RVP and Rooney as centre mids and Fellaini up front. And it's as well as like other times where he's played Di Maria as a striker, played Januzaj as a striker, played Zaha as a striker, played Young as a striker only the other day. Just constantly playing every single player out of position and just expecting it to work. And then also in his press conferences, keep saying like, "Oh, I wanted to get quick wingers, but you can't always get." He's like, even as a club as big as Manchester United with all our resources, you can't always get what you want. Well, you've had one of the best wingers in the world in Di Maria. You just signed Memphis, who you ruined his confidence as well. You play Martial on the wing, so it's not like you haven't got quick, fast wingers. You just haven't used them properly.
Yeah, I don't think we should rewrite the past. I'm going to read Van Gaal's statement to you in a moment, and I know we almost should get our tune starting up, and we can all start to feel sorry for him. But I do want to get back to reality. I'll say it how it is. And I don't think we should forget the reality and what he's done to this club. And I think personally he's mugged the fans off for a long, long time. I know he came out on the pitch against Bournemouth and was like, "This is for you, FA Cup, you deserve it." We know we deserve it, but when have you been thinking about the fans before that? You haven't. You've ignored what the fans wanted. You've known the fans haven't been happy in the past, and you've tried little lies. You've taken the United fans for mugs with your lies about being a youth manager and all about the youth. And then the next week you're moaning about injuries. Well, you can't have. You either had a thin squad to play the youth, or you didn't. And he throws excuses up each time. If a youth player like Varela makes a mistake, he'll throw him under the bus. If Rashford scores a goal because he's had to play because there's nobody else, it's down to his brilliance as a youth coach. I mean, interestingly enough, one of the worrying things today is that Warren Joyce, the person responsible for all our youth, has been approached by Blackburn. I think that's more important than Van Gaal leaving, to be honest, because that's actually somebody who's had some success here. But Mixed Gaming says we need Brendan Rodgers. Now he's on to bigger and better things at Celtic, apparently. Deluded Brendan, exactly. Happy Louis Van Gaal Day, says Bishnu. Time to look forward now. Louis Van Gaal was a shocking appointment. MUFC 20 times. Spot on. Positivity is the key. We're on to bigger and better things. We don't really need to dwell on Van Gaal. I just find it a bit funny that everyone feels sorry for him. I think feel sorry for yourselves. Feel sorry for yourself as a fan, because it's been difficult. But let's have a look at I know what I wanted to say. I wanted to just quickly read you Louis Van Gaal's thing, because I know Alex was welling up before we came on air. He says, "I'm indebted to my support and coaching staff who've given me their all during the time at the club." I doubt that. I'm deeply grateful to each and every member of the club staff. The sports science team, they've been rubbish. The medical team, they've been rubbish. The kit and laundry department, club administration, the press office, the managers of the team, the academy staff, ground staff, the catering team, the people who park my car, the petrol station, goes on and on, at Old Trafford and Carrington, all of whom have given me their unwavering support in my time at United. You want to see what they're releasing about you now, Louis. Never in my 25 years as a manager have I been so well supported in my role. Finally, my special thanks go to Sir Alex Ferguson and Sir Bobby Charlton for always making me and my family feel so welcome throughout my time as Manchester United manager. Wouldn't expect anything else, they're both legends. Having managed in Holland, Spain and Germany, I always hoped for the opportunity to manage English football. You've done it, you failed. I thank my players and wish them all well for next season. It has been a pleasure to work with them. It's not been a pleasure for us. And it has been particularly rewarding to see so many young players, here we go, talk about yourself, young players take their chance to break into the first team and excel. I look forward to watching the continued development of these players I've developed next season. Thank you to the owners and board of Manchester United for giving me the opportunity to manage this great club. I'd also like to express my gratitude to the amazing United supporters. They truly are the best fans in the world. You've put up with a load of my crap. Go and enjoy the rest of your life. I added that last sentence in, but really I felt it did need adding in. But your thoughts on Alex there? I think you're welling up, aren't you?
It did kind of make me feel bad for the amount of times I've been on this show slating him. But then, like you've said before, whenever you feel bad about it, just think about everything that's happened and all the stuff. At the end of the day, people have said, "Oh, we've handled this so classless and everything." And yeah, maybe with all the leaks and stuff, which wasn't even our fault. If that's Jorge Mendes just trying to get one over on Van Gaal. But as I said yesterday, if it was like City with finishing 5th and then FA Cup, they would have sacked their manager, but you wouldn't have heard a single thing about it, because it's Man United, the biggest club in the world, now appointing, well, if the rumours are to be believed, which is packing up his house, so I assume they are appointing the biggest manager in the world, then it's just going to get all the fanfare. You don't hear about any other club, just us, and it's ridiculous how other clubs are calling us classless and everything, when it wasn't even us who did the leak. Like Moyes was handled badly, and with the media and stuff, they have been reporting Van Gaal was to be sacked for like so long, but that's nothing to do with us. That's just building on speculation and Mourinho's camp, probably, in all fairness, leaking stuff.
People are saying I'm savage on there. I'm not. I'm really excited. I tell you what, I've been a negative Nora for a long time, and I've been Louis Van Gaal out for a long time, and I'm so positive. We were talking about this with Alex before, wanting to go live at 1:30, but the club typically dragged their feet. But I wanted Mourinho 3 years ago. It's Christmas for me. I've got Mourinho. You won't get me moaning. You can watch United stand from now on. You can monitor Twitter. I tell you what, if you hear the words Jose out or anything like that, you've got every right to, I'll do anything, because it's not going to happen for at least 12 months. I'm so excited about it. I'm really happy about it. But on the other hand, I'm ecstatic that Van Gaal's gone, and I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie to you. And I tell you what, while we're at it, are they going to come out and announce that Robin Van Persie's left yet? Because Manchester United still haven't told us about that, and that still sticks in my teeth. Robin Van Persie's a Manchester United legend to me. Absolutely love him. I think he's a brilliant professional. Loved him at United. And, people are moaning about the way they've treated Van Gaal. I don't care how they've treated Van Gaal. What's he done for me, you, or anybody else at Manchester United? If it wasn't for Jesse Lingard and Wayne Rooney on Saturday, we wouldn't have even won an FA Cup, because we're going sideways and backwards again. He's gone. I'm happy he's gone. And I don't feel sorry for him, because I feel sorry for the likes of Robin Van Persie, who's treated like crap and deserved a lot better. But I tell you what, maybe I'm being a bit savage, but I'm absolutely ecstatic, Alex, that we're going to get Jose. It's going to happen. We know it's going to happen. And I think the only uncertain one is Zlatan, but I'm happy to say I think that's going to happen as well. Probably Saturday. Nice weekend going into the bank holiday. Mourinho tomorrow, Wednesday. What do we think?
Well, apparently all the negotiations with Mendes are happening tomorrow, but I don't know whether they'll be happening in London or Manchester. If they're happening in Manchester, which if he's packing up his house, then I'm guessing he is moving tomorrow or Wednesday. So hopefully the press conference will be tomorrow, because I think everyone's getting a bit giddy and excited for it all now. But in terms of Zlatan, a lot of people have been saying, they don't want him because of his age and stuff. He's just come off his best, I think, actually all-time best goal-scoring season that he's ever had. He scored 50 goals in all competitions, and yeah, you can say he plays in a Tin Pot League, blah, 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 and all this, but he was still scoring in the Champions League and stuff like that. And this is a player that has scored in nearly every single top league, well, aside from the German and the English league. He's an absolute world-class striker, even though he is old, but he won't be able to play every single game for us, and so Rashford will still get a lot of games, but he would just be people keep saying about Cantona-esque signing, a bit of a maverick, but he is a winner, that he's someone really good to have in the dressing room.
Yeah, I'm just going to say it because it's just in my head. Cheerio, cheerio. Oh, that's probably a bit harsh, but what did I want to say? There was something that really popped into my head. A lot of you saying it's not just Van Gaal. There's a lot of other people that he's ruined. Oh, I know what I was going to say. Chelsea fans, Arsenal fans, City fans, Liverpool fans. Just watch them on Twitter or anywhere like that. They're absolutely bitter. He's not even been appointed, and we're already back on the map, hated, which is exactly what we want to be. And I tell you what, I can't wait. What I can't wait for is when we play Liverpool. Because Mourinho hates Liverpool as much as we do, so it's going to be absolutely fantastic. And we were talking about this as well.
Just as much as we do as well.
Yeah. And we were talking about this before, Mourinho's got it made, because all he's got to do the first game at Old Trafford is get up in the first 10 seconds, shout at the ref, and he'll get the biggest cheer there's been in Old Trafford for 30 years. But we've been deprived of that. We're passionate United fans, and that's what we want to happen. There's a bit of a side, really, what's going to happen with Giggs. Apparently he's been offered a lesser role, and he's not very happy. But we discussed this last night on the Sunday show. He's got to go off. And I like Giggs, I respect Giggs, I want the class of 92 to manage the club at some point in the future, but he's got to go off and cut his teeth. And I feel sorry for him if he's disappointed, but this has to happen, and if you're not part of it, go and do something else. No one's got a divine right for a job at life at Manchester United, and if they did, Roy Keane would have never been kicked out. Ferguson was very ruthless with Keane, and he did more than anybody, so nobody has a guaranteed future there. And I think Giggs, it's a harsh reality, but you're going to have to go out and prove yourself and hopefully come back.
You touched upon it there, the divine right. This is what kind of pisses me off with it all, is that they just, he just seems to think that he was always going to get the United job on a platter, which maybe after Ferguson you could maybe build a case for it, how the likes of Pep and stuff too. I know they weren't as big as they were, as successful as they were when he took over, or with Zidane taking over Rafa, but they still had decent teams and stuff. And it's we're in too dangerous of a situation right now to becoming like a Liverpool with how long it's been since. I know we won the FA Cup, but we've been in the wilderness for 3 years now with not winning the league or even come close to winning the league. And if you go like a little bit more longer, then people are going to just like other players are going to be like, oh, they're like the new Liverpool, they're Arsenal, they're not going to win the league anytime soon, so why would I want to join them? But now bringing in Jose Mourinho, and then if we sign Zlatan, then you're setting the bar high early, and people will be like, oh, Zlatan's going to Man United, or Jose's at Man United. Then you have players that don't give a shit about the being in Europa League for 1 year, because then you know that you're building up to something that will be challenging. If we get Zlatan, Jose, and depending on the summer, we can be challenging for the title straight away, in my opinion anyway. And then the Europa League, I was saying to Georgie earlier, I'm like, it may sound like a bit deluded and everything, but I'm like, for this one season, I don't even mind being in the Europa League over the Champions League, because our squad currently, as it is, we're not in the place to win the Champions League anyway, but we are in a place that we can, with the right management and players, win the Europa League. So
Dominic says Old Trafford's going to light up. There's a lot of excitement in the comment section. Jordan says, how far can we go? We can reach for the stars and go beyond. I really do believe that. I'm really excited, and you know I've been negative for a while. I'm genuinely excited. I think the summer's going to be fantastic. Stick with us. Transfers, we're going to react to everything like this, like we did last summer. So we'll be doing loads of these live reactions throughout the week, not just on a Sunday night. So stick with the United Stand, get involved. But you know what? I don't bullshit. I'm really, really excited. I think we've got the best manager in the world that I wanted 3 years ago. I think Zlatan Ibrahimovic is Cantona-esque. I think Van Gaal had to go. Yes, David Moyes has turned down the Villa job, and there is a slim chance that we might wake up to Moyes. There's no chance, but that's a joke. But we're going to get Mourinho. We've got exciting things happening. People hate us again, and that, for my whole life as a United fan, which unfortunately does span a number of decades, being a United fan is having a siege mentality. It's being hated. It's being in people's faces. It's being passionate, and that is what we're going to get back under Mourinho. And all these fans who go, oh, I don't, and even Sir Bobby sort of said it, I don't like the way he poked somebody in the eye and everything like that. You know what? I don't care, because that makes me think of Cantona, Roy Keane, and people like that. You get in people's faces, you fight for the shirt, and we've been missing that for so long, and I'm genuinely excited. And I do agree with Alex. Leicester have just won the league. That's a fantasy. Forget about it. You're never going to do it again. And all the other big teams, we're all starting from a level playing field, and everybody will want to play for Mourinho. I don't think there's anybody who's out of bounds, and we're going to keep De Gea, which is massive, the best goalkeeper in the world. So much positivity to move on from, I think, Alex.
yeah, as I've said before, the only one worry is I don't really care about I do care about the youth, but I'm not worried about the youth. I'm just worried about Rashford, more for the sense of that he's not a Mourinho type striker than he is than him being a young player. Because I think we have so many of these youth players that have been established now this season that they're not going to be like giving their debuts, and it's like a myth that isn't that. I saw an article today that everyone always goes on about this. Oh, Mourinho hates youth and all this. But Pep Guardiola, in his whole 3 years at Bayern Munich, didn't introduce one youth player, didn't promote one youth player. Yet, does that get brought up? No. It's just because they love the stigma, and it's just like, oh, Mourinho doesn't play attractive football. Go watch his Real Madrid team. Go watch Chelsea in their season that they won the league last season. They were winning the league at a canter, playing the most entertaining football in the league, and then they went against Spurs in like January or December, wherever it was, and they like sinked 5 goals, and that's when Mourinho suddenly went, oh God, need to just like set up defensively for the rest of the season just to see the league out. And then that's obviously what caused all the arguments with Hazard, Fabregas, Costa, because they just thought they were being suppressed with that style of play. But
Chelsea have got history of that anyway. They did it with their Spurs, don't they? They just down tools and get rid of a manager.
They're just like the English version of Real Madrid with how their players have way too much power. But I think Chelsea fans won't admit it, but Mourinho's always wanted this job. If you see how he's acted to clubs in the past, like you touched upon it earlier with Liverpool, Arsenal, he's done it to Man City, like going crazy in front of them. Whereas with Man United, he's always acted with so much respect, always complimented us, no matter what, even when Ferguson had left with Moyes and stuff, because he's always wanted this job, and Chelsea fans know it. So I think it will be great for us.
Yeah, because we are the biggest club in the world, and that is a fact, and we shouldn't move away from that. But what I wanted to just say very quickly, because there's two things. Parking the bus is a myth. He's parked the bus against Barcelona and one or two other big sides to get results. He's broken goal records everywhere he's gone. People are worrying about the youth. As Alex was saying to me earlier, Rashford's 18. He's not ready to play 40 games of a season. He can't do that. He needs to be gradually brought in. He needs a Zlatan or a Morata or Aubameyang alongside him. But I think the big one for me, who Mourinho is going to absolutely love, is Fosu Mensah. And I said 2 or 3 months ago, he reminds me of Michael Essien. Michael Essien was made a world great by Mourinho. I think defensive midfield, Fosu Mensah, I'm getting goosebumps now. I think he is going to be an absolute Michael Essien, dominating midfielder, and Mourinho is exactly the person. There's just no way in a million years that Martial, Rashford and Fosu Mensah especially are not going to be used by Mourinho, and anybody who's throwing up that is wrong. But what I wanted to finish on is just to say that our job as Manchester United fans now is to back our manager. I read it earlier and it was right. The press are going to come after Mourinho. They'll love him for a month and then they'll come after him. And as fans, have got to stick together. And I know you might say, well, you didn't do that with Van Gaal. Well, we did. He's had 2 years. We backed Van Gaal for about 18 months, up until the Arsenal game did it for me in October last year, and then I stopped and went, this is enough. He's had way too long. He had 18 months. Mourinho has got to be backed by the fans. He will be backed by the United stand, and we should back him, because the press will turn against him very, very quickly, because that's what they always do. But as fans, I've got 100% confidence we'll stand by us, and he'll stand by us. It's a siege mentality, and I can't wait. And I'll let Alex just have a final bit.
That's what he always does as well. People say he blames his players, but it's actually the complete opposite of that. If you ever watch Mourinho, he always blames. Like, if Chelsea used to have a crap performance, he'd blame it on, like, pretty much anything else. So if then all the press would then attack Mourinho, and then they'd completely forget that Chelsea just played that hideously, and they wouldn't come after any of their players, and that's what he always does. Like what you said, siege mentality. He makes it, he's like, he builds up a feeling of everyone hates us and we don't care, we'll just fight for it to the end, and like he just takes all the flack for himself and just blames it on other stuff. And some people don't like that, saying, oh, he's always making excuses. Those people are naive, because he's doing it on purpose to get all the press stories on him rather than on the team itself, and then the team don't feel under pressure.
We've just had it with with Ferguson for like over 2 decades. He would never throw his players under the bus, and I think that's why it stuck so bad with us, the way Van Gaal publicly, Valdez, and then after games blaming players instead of blaming himself. I know Mourinho's arrogant, but he doesn't do that to his players, and that doesn't fit in the United way, to come out and berate your players. So we've got Mourinho in the next couple of days, so we'll be doing another one of these. We've got Zlatan, I think, in a few days. We've got loads of transfers through the summer, and then we've got Liverpool, Pep. It's just going to be amazing. I can't wait for it, and I'm not lying. I am genuinely excited as I'll wrap this show up. We'll have more tomorrow. We'll have Mourinho tomorrow. We'll have a video on Giggs. I think, we've got Carrick's future to decide. We've got people going out the door, it's going to be like a conveyor belt. But absolutely fantastic. It's been well worth the wait. Thanks for everybody who's been involved in the live comments. Thanks for Alex, who's been waiting around all day like myself. But it's been well worth the wait, because I actually feel more excited than I've ever felt in a long time for United, because I think this is the start of something absolutely amazing, and I don't often say that. So brilliant. Thanks everyone for watching. I'm off to watch Game of Thrones. Speak to you later.